Hi, my name is Riddhi Chakraborty. I'm a senior writer and producer at Rolling Stone India. Rolling Stone India is the leading music magazine in the country, and we are affiliated with the American Rolling Stone.
Hi, my name is Anurag Tagat. I'm a senior writer at Rolling Stone India and an independent music journalist.
With BTS leading the way, over the last couple of years, K-pop has really made a massive impact in India. There is a search for creative, unique voices that are outside Bollywood and film music, and K-pop is finally filling that void.
Pop music in India has come a long way and gone global, breaking language barriers. In some years from now, it can definitely command the same level of influence as film music. Following decades of dominance by Bollywood and film music, record labels, key global investments, and streaming platforms are slowly and steadily changing music consumption and habits in India. Bollywood, of course, continues to wield influence and sometimes overshadows the actual diversity in the country. But over the last 9 years of covering music in India, I've got to see a huge difference in what was independent music on the fringes to now having electronic artists, rappers, rock bands, and singer-songwriters really leveling up. A lot of them sing in English as well as regional languages. Through YouTube as well as streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, JioSaavn, Gaana, and Wink, we've seen artists like Ritviz, The Local Train, Thaikudam Bridge, Prateek Kuhad, Divine, and more really become household names in many parts of India. According to the Indian music industry, streaming accounts for about 70% of revenue in 2019, and YouTube remains one of the most widely used platforms. On the other hand, Spotify launched as recently as early 2019, and within this time, they've been trying to do a lot for independent artists.
We've noticed that all of these new habits in music weren't really tied to Bollywood or film music. There was so much search for diversity. There are over 22 official languages in India and so many more dialects, so there's that much more music to discover. There are new music labels popping up to give the independent music scene more form and shape, whereas before, a few years back, it was all a little bit more disorganized. In the scene, even music festivals have become a big part of the ecosystem. As of now, there are over 50 music festivals that happen annually in India. The generation before us, they'll tell you how their parents and friends and relatives would travel overseas and bring in cassettes and vinyls. That would be the introduction to artists like the Beatles, ABBA, and so many more.
Then we saw the arrival of MTV India in 1996, followed by Channel V and VH1, all of which opened up the world of indie pop to young India. LimeWire and Napster were huge at the turn of the millennium, especially in India, to the extent that piracy still remains a large worry. The IMI says that 67% of music consumption is still via digital piracy.
We are at a point now where the internet has made the world more accessible than ever, and Indians are being introduced to artists from around the world because of online platforms introducing it to them through their algorithms.
The demand for global artists has very much always been there over the decades. We've seen the Police, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and so many more all come to India. Event production costs are just now something that companies and promoters are seriously considering. In the last 4 years, we've had stadium-level shows, including Coldplay and Jay-Z at the Global Citizen Festival, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, U2, and Skrillex.
When it comes to K-pop in India, the northeast of India was actually way ahead of us. They caught on to the Hallyu wave back in the late 90s and the early 2000s. The rest of India is only catching up now, but over the past couple of years, we've seen something pretty incredible happen. K-pop artists, Korean hip-hop artists, R&B, pop, like it's all spread all over the country, and there's a market and a hunger for these artists in the country. Last year, we actually had several artists from Korea come in and test the market and do mini tours. Artists like Card, VAV, Alexa, and Intuit. 2020 has definitely been the biggest year for K-pop in India yet. It's becoming more of a two-way street, especially with BTS recently recognizing their hit song Dynamite's success in the country. We were one of the leading countries in terms of how Dynamite was streamed, and the band even did an exclusive interview with Rolling Stone India to thank their Indian fans for the same thing. Korean artists and Indian fans are really eager to learn more about one another and connect to each other. So right now, there is a need to tour and meet one another. COVID-19 has set us way back now. Last year, when I was in Seoul, I spoke to several K-pop artists and labels, and they were all eyeing India as a tour destination in 2020 or 2021. But now, until a vaccine is found, I don't think we can, resume tours at all. The sad thing is, sponsors might actually have been interested after the successful debut of Z-Pop Dream at VH1 Supersonic this year. But after everything shut down over the next couple of months, it's pretty impossible to see who's willing to pitch in.
The live music industry has been hobbling in India, and this has definitely affected investment in future concerts, whether it's for international artists and for local Indian musicians. There are innovations and some success stories, like digital concerts that break travel restrictions, and now anyone can buy a ticket and tune into a show from any artist in the world. This is being leveraged.
Korea has successfully managed to apply the untacked concert formula with Beyond Live as well as BTS's Bang Bang Con. But it makes one wonder, what is India's future here? Do we have the production to recreate untacked concerts at the same scale in our own country? It remains to be seen.